his slider, used his changeup, probably a lot of sliders in there, more than I thought. And then when he needed it, he threw the really good curveball to Caminero in the 6th to finish that inning. But just really impressive. I mean, the poise, the pitch count was really low. You know, thankfully we got the lead for him, so he had a little chance to breathe. Yeah, and in the dugout he seemed calm. You know, I kept looking. You know, he was up on the rail between innings, watching the game. You know, thankfully again today it was a comfortable night. It wasn't smoking hot, so that probably helped him. You know, nice breeze, and again I think the lead probably helped. And then he's used to being good. I mean, he's a good pitcher. Yeah, usually in no hitters there's going to be a couple good plays. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a great angle for how far that ball was in the first inning, but we know that's a short fence there, so Renfroe's a good outfielder. We know that. And that was an exceptional play by Bobby, especially with a really good runner.
What's up, Kansas City? This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Thursday, May 1st, 2025. April is over. Pretty exciting, I think. It was pretty exciting to watch Noah Cameron and his Major League debut last night down in Tampa. Unbelievable.
How about those Royals, huh?
Flirting with a no-hitter and getting his first Major League victory. I mean, I don't know how you could possibly ask for any more than that. As the Royals get the victory 3-0, and Noah Cameron takes a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Gives it up and then gets taken out of the game and watches the bullpen finish the job. There were some nervous times. There were some nervous moments, but the bullpen comes through. John Schreiber, Lucas Urseg, and Carlos Estevez, and the Royals win 3-0. And what I thought was very important for Noah Cameron, the Royals were up 2-0 before he even took the mound, which was a big deal because Vinny Pasquantino went deep in the first inning, hit a 2-run home run, and before Noah Cameron throws his first pitch, he's up 2-0. I bet some of the other pitchers were looking around and wondering, well, why the hell did you do that for me? But I'm glad that they did it for Noah Cameron. I'm glad they did it for anyone. They wasted some opportunities. They wasted an opportunity where there were second and third and nobody out. Good God. It's pretty hard not to score a run when you have second and third and nobody out, but the Royals found a way to do that. But still, it was enough. It was enough last night as Noah Cameron goes 6 1/3, gives up the 1 hit, no runs, 5 walks. That's uncharacteristic. I thought on a couple of them he got squeezed, but still 5 walks too many, 3 strikeouts. But Mike Boddicker, I was texting back and forth with him, and you can imagine he was just raving about what he saw. A couple of the things that I can't say that Mike Boddicker texted me to describe his enthusiasm. But he did. I do feel comfortable sharing this. He said, love it. Staying off the meat of the bat, changing speeds. Awesome job tonight for the St. Joe boy. The kid pitched. So fun for this old goat to watch. And so Mike Boddicker was very excited, sending me multiple text messages while watching Noah Cameron pitch a gem in his major league debut. And now the Royals are 16-15 to get back above 500. But wow, I mean, that was awesome. And it was cool, too, when Joe Goldberg, he did a nice job of that when he was interviewing Noah Cameron's family while Noah was pitching. And you could tell, like, maybe the dad was like, let me watch my son pitch, please. But you know what? You're there. It's a moment that family will remember forever. You had the mom and the dad. You had Noah Cameron's wife. You had his son, Augie. His son, Augie, was eating chicken fingers slathered in ranch. And at one point, you look over there, and this little boy is getting fed a chicken finger, and he turns around and just raises both hands in victory. And you're thinking, you know what? That kid's living the life. He's down in Florida. He's surrounded by his family. He's watching his dad make his major league debut. And someone is feeding him chicken fingers with ranch. And he just turns around and raises his hands victoriously. I'm like, yeah, I would too. I mean, if I was just at a Royals game and somebody was feeding me chicken fingers with ranch, I'd turn around and just raise my hands victoriously. Like, yeah, I did it. I'm here. And so I feel like that moment, and who knows if he'll actually remember it, but he's got video of it now.
Winning.
He'll be able to look back and say, yep, that was
Winning.
one of the best days of my young life. My dad was out there mowing down the Tampa Bay Rays. I was being fed chicken fingers. Joe Goldberg was commenting on my chicken fingers. And my dad beat the Rays.
Winning.
That's a good night at the ballpark. And look, that's another, look, we talked about this yesterday. It's very exciting to know that the Royals have that type of depth in the starting rotation. They have one of the best starting rotations in Major League Baseball. They've shown that. And unfortunately for Noah Cameron, there's not a spot for him to stay permanently in the rotation. And I know somebody sent me a message, keep this guy in the bullpen and send Chris Stratton packing. Well, I get it. I understand that. But you need to keep Noah Cameron as a starter and keep him in the rotation down to AAA if he's not going to be at the major league level for moments like this. Because if you think that all 5 starting pitchers moving forward from now to the end of the year are going to make all their starts and stay off the IL, then you crazy. I don't agree with you. And let's hope that we can knock on wood and hope that they all avoid any type of major injury.
You're crazy.
But there's going to be moments like this, like Cole Reagan's. Thankfully, he isn't seriously hurt, but he's missing a start because he has a tight groin. And so you don't skip a beat, and you're able to dip into the AAA staff, bring up Noah Cameron, and have him start in Cole Reagan's place and kick ass doing it. And so there may be another point. There will be another point. There is going to be another point. And again, I'm not wishing for someone to go on the IL, but that's baseball. You just don't keep all 5 starting pitchers healthy for an entire season. And if you do, then you're the golden goose. Then you crap golden eggs. And I want to hang out with you. And I want to live off of your bounty. I want to have you, and so I can take your golden eggs. I don't know where I'm going with that. You know what I mean? It means you're very lucky. It means you're extremely lucky, and I want to take you down to the casino and see what we can do. because it doesn't happen in baseball. Very rarely does it happen in baseball. That's just the nature of the beast. And so the point is, and look, do you theoretically want just all your best arms up in the major league level? Sure, of course you do. But you have to think about the long game. And now if we were getting to September, we were getting to the end of the season, and the Royals are in a race for a playoff spot or a race for the division, then you declare all hands on deck. All hands on deck. We can't afford to have anyone out there stinking up the joint out of the bullpen. We need our best arms up here. Let's go. This is the final stretch, the final run. Let's get to the finish line and get to the postseason. Okay. That'll be a time when we can talk about Noah Cameron and him filling any type of role possible with a big league team. But right now, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You got to play the long game. And there will be other. I mean, look, are we sure Cole Reagans is going to make his next start? I don't know. What if he goes out there and his groin is very tender again, or tight, or inflamed? I don't know what word you want to use. It's something tight, like a tiger. Okay. Then you got Noah Cameron. Okay, down the road, Michael Lorenzen pulls something, strains something. You got Noah Cameron. I'm not going to mention any other names, so I'm not going to be accused of jinxing anything. But boy, for a team that has postseason hopes, what a weapon that is to have. And are all the starts going to go as well as last night? No. But guess what? He's not going to walk as many people as he did last night. So it could even out. He's one of the Royals' top prospects for a reason. Scott Sharp raved about him on the show. Royals senior vice president and assistant GM on the show yesterday raved about him for a reason. Andy Rogers wrote about how excited they were with his 5-pitch repertoire and his ability to throw strikes and change speeds as a lefty. She wrote about how excited the Royals are about him. What else did Scott Sharp say that stood out yesterday? Yeah, there were multiple teams asked about him. We've had teams calling and letting us know, hey, if you decide that you want to deal him, you got our number. I love when Scott Sharp gives us little tidbits like that. And the Royals are like, okay, we got your number. Good. Glad. Thank you. Click. And for those of us that have desired the Royals to go out and acquire another bat, acquire an outfielder, and we try to find outfielders that are available, that will be available, that other teams will be willing to part with, that are of value, like someone that will actually come in here and help the team. And the Royals most likely are looking for a guy that they would have some control over. Now, could they go out and just acquire a rent-a-player just for the rest of the season? Yeah, probably they could. And the price will not be as steep because you're getting a rent-a-player. But if you want them to go out and acquire a bat that could actually help this team that's under any kind of team control, you're going to have to give up something of value. And other teams, I mean, they're no dumb. Well, some teams are dummies, but these other teams are not dumb. They look at what the Royals have excess of. Okay, they got a good rotation. They don't have an opening in their rotation for Noah Cameron. We do. We desperately need a lefty in a rotation. And this guy is ready to roll. And so if you're another team that needs starting pitching, who are you going to ask for? when you talk to the Royals, if the Royals are banging your drum asking you for an outfielder? Who are you going to ask for, Jake?
Noah Cameron.
If you're looking for a guy that can step in right now.
No-brainer.
That's who I'd ask for.
Absolutely.
And so then after last night, do you think those calls are going to increase or decrease? I bet you they might have been getting calls during the game. Like, hey, are you, are you keeping him? Is that what?
Just letting you know we're interested.
Hey, how's the offense going? Are you guys, what are we thinking here? Right?
Oh, they're gonna need him.
But the Royals understand that, and you have to weigh that. Like in the offseason, they could have kept Brady Singer and not acquired India, but they felt comfortable with Chris Bubich stepping into the rotation. And after they brought Michael Walker back, and after they brought Michael Lorenzen back, they said, okay, we could trade Brady Singer for a bat, and we're good. And also, guess what? Guess who else is part of that equation? We've also got Noah Cameron, too. So just keep that in mind. Other teams want your good stuff. And one of the good things the Royals have, Noah Cameron. And as Scott said, they're not interested in dealing him right now, and with good reason. You saw why last night. That is a tremendous luxury, but it's also going to be extremely functional for this baseball team because he's going to help you get to 162 games and hopefully pitch very well doing it. So congratulations to Noah Cameron on a terrific Major League debut and getting his first win as a member of the Kansas City Royals. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. You've heard us talking about the big NASCAR weekend coming up in May. Now it's May. How about that? May 9th, 10th, and 11th, culminating with the Advent Health 400 coming up on Sunday, May 11th. Don't forget the race starts at 2 p.m. Tickets start at $55. Kids and under at $10. Great place to go out with the family and have some fun at Kansas Speedway. And let's talk to somebody who will be driving and competing at Kansas Speedway, and somebody who has recently won at Kansas Speedway. Let's say hello to Ross Chastain. Ross, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well, and I know you're headed to Kansas City today. You've got a full itinerary of events. Let us know some of the things you're going to be doing while you're here in KC.
Yeah, well, hearing that intro there about the race tickets, that's getting me fired up. We'll be there next weekend, and yeah, it's going to come up today. We're racing in Texas this weekend. You got to remember our season is 38 weeks long. We start in February and we go to November. So we just had our off weekend over Easter, and now we're back to it already. And gonna be in Kansas today, trying to remind people that we are coming to town. It's easy to forget today in today's world with everything going on, but we won the race last fall there, and we're looking to back that up with another win. Our next try at the track. So got stuff throughout the city today. Going to be at a Hy-Vee appearance later. Going to be over at the casino there off Turn 2 later today, and just going to be out across town, reminding people we're racing.
I know you're going to, like you said, you're going to stop by our friends at Hy-Vee. You're going to be at Hollywood Casino for a little chalk talk and fan meet and greet later on tonight. You're going to stop by and see our friends at the KCK Police Athletic League. Great organization that does awesome work for kids that really need it. And on top of that, you've got to be happy, like you said, to come back to Kansas City because you recently won here. So take us back to that Hollywood Casino 400 when you were able to get a victory last September.
Yeah, that when you bring it up, it feels like it was just yesterday. But we got it done, and that was something that we didn't dominate the day. But in NASCAR, you race against the entire industry. All 36 charter teams are on track every week. And so everybody is there to compete, and we lose as NASCAR drivers. We lose a lot more than we win. So when we do win, it is a big deal. And I've been fortunate enough to win a truck race at Kansas. That was my first truck win back in 2019. And back to the losing part of what I just mentioned, I started in the truck series in 2011 and didn't win my first race until 2019. So that's a lot of seasons of showing up and a lot of races of losing to have it all come together at Kansas. It's always been special, and then to get a cup win there, really with a good car that we executed well, and on a late restart we were able to go take the lead and drive off and win it.
So you mentioned that, and also I'll mention that you can go meet Ross at Hy-Vee in Shawnee. 13550 West 63rd Street in Shawnee today from 3:30 until 5:30. So stop by, get your shopping done at Hy-Vee, and say hello to Ross Chastain. You mentioned a couple of wins at Kansas Speedway. So tell me what you like about Kansas Speedway. What do you like about the track? Why have you had some success here at Kansas Speedway?
Well, I've had fast cars. I can't look past that for sure. So you cannot drive a slow car fast. And then past that, I don't really know. It's a track that has variable banking, so the bottom, the lowest part of the track is the flattest, and then the higher you go, the more banking you have. So it rewards you to go the longer way around, which doesn't make sense when you're driving. If you're doing it for speed and time, lap time, you'd want to go the shortest distance. But it rewards going around the outside, and that's something that I've put a lot of work into. It's not been easy for me to learn how to do that, as simple as that sounds. So, not sure, but can't look past the fact that I've had really fast race cars from different teams that I've driven for.
So when anyone goes to RossChastain.com, the first thing you see is Ross Chastain, NASCAR Cup Series driver, 8th generation watermelon farmer. And so that's a unique intro when you go to your website. So tell us about growing up, working on your family's farm when you weren't out there racing on the local short tracks, and your life growing up as an 8th generation watermelon farmer.
Yeah, that was something I didn't get to choose. Racing, I chose as a hobby, and my dad hobby raced, and when we got into it together, and he taught me everything I know about racing. But farming, he also taught me a lot of what I know, and we didn't, nor I or my brother had a choice. We were born into it, and very fortunate to be born into it. A long time ago, generations ago, a lot of families farmed, and a lot more families than today, and we're fortunate that we are able to stay in it and keep doing it, and we're proud of that. And so we're focused on growing the business and not letting it go away. It's harder and harder to grow a crop every year, but we're committed to it. And watermelons is our thing. So they've, in the past, different ancestors of mine have tried different crops and different things and came back to watermelons every time. So we've decided now we're going to stick to it and try, and that's our thing. And we now work with other family farms to grow. We've grown the business, and now we can ship watermelons every day of the year from a network of family farms that we all work together.
That's awesome. Farmers, farming, the backbone of our country. And guess what? Watermelons are delicious, so I'm on board. You can consider me a fan, not only of you on the track, but what your family does. And so that's awesome, and it's great to hear that your family is still doing well in that regard. And so I want to mention again, if you want to come out and say hello to Ross, Shawnee Hy-Vee today from 3:30 until 5:30, and tonight at Hollywood Casino from 8 until 9:30. And so that's really cool, and that's something that I think NASCAR does a really good job, and they've even been doing a better job of it, getting drivers like yourself out there in the community and to try to connect with some people around town before you come in and race. And so tell me about the importance of that, because obviously without the fans, you're not going to be able to get out there and do what you do. And so tell me why you're excited about coming out to the Shawnee Hy-Vee and Hollywood Casino and connecting with some of your fans and some of the people that'll be supporting you out there at Kansas Speedway coming up a week from Sunday.
Yeah, it's an intentional effort on our part as drivers and the sport as a whole to not just sit and wait, and show up to the market, show up to Kansas next week on Friday, practice, qualify Saturday, and race Sunday and get out of town. We want people out there to watch us. The sport is over 75 years old as the entity of NASCAR, and the group of the track owners, and there's a couple groups in the NASCAR group, as the France family has put so much in to build this sport. And there's been so many great drivers that have driven and built it up through their racing and their rivalries and winning races and losing races. Now it's our turn, and we're focused on making it better when we leave it than how we found it, and that's by putting people in the grandstands and making it exciting. And if they can just meet us, a lot of times they'll have a different perspective, and definitely when they experience a NASCAR race in person. That's what I would just, anybody listening would, if you've never been to a race, just do it one time, whether it's next weekend in Kansas or another race somewhere else. If you experience it and you feel the horsepower and the sound and the smell and the sound of our tires and the cars on track, it's something you'll never forget, and it'll give you a different experience when you tune in on TV next time.
Well, let me tell you, I experienced that when we were out there last year, and my daughter had never really gone to a race, and she fell in love with it, and we've gone to a couple of local racetracks, and we plan on going back out to Kansas Speedway. And she had a blast out there. My whole family did, and we really enjoyed it anytime we go out to Kansas Speedway. And so tell people how things are going for you this season. I know I'm looking at the standings right now. You're in 10th place, but tell me how you're going, how things are going for you right now as you get ready to, I know you like you said, you still got Texas, but you've got Kansas Speedway coming up on May 11th. How are things going for you so far this season?
Yeah, 10th in points is nothing to be sad about. We definitely want to win those. So we haven't had the pace. So when we qualified the day before the race on Saturdays, we've not been qualifying well. So that's no secret. And so that's goal number one, is start closer to the front. Yes, we've got 400 or 500-mile races, but sometimes that's not enough time to pass everybody. It seems like it would be when I say it out loud, but it's not. So we're focused on starting better on Saturday, and then putting together races. I've made my fair share of mistakes this year and taking us out of chances to win. So we're good, not great right now, and trying to be great is the goal.
And so when you're coming to Kansas Speedway, like you said, you want to be able to do a little bit better in qualifying. So what are some of the adjustments you make, and how do you go about doing that? Obviously, it's all on the car and your team and everything else, but as far as your part, what are some of the things that you want to try to do better to try to put yourself in position, like you said, to be able to have to finish and maybe get another win out here at Kansas Speedway?
Well, our cars make just under 700 horsepower, and around the mile-and-a-half track at Kansas, we'll be close to wide open, if not wide open, foot on the floor, gas pedal pushed as hard as I can all the way around for that one lap of qualifying on Saturday. So then it comes down to how much distance do you take, how smooth can I be on the wheel. It will not be easy. I might have to lift if I start sliding, but that's something that the team and I, our engineers at Trackhouse, we've got 3 cars with Shane Van Gisbergen in 88, Daniel Suarez in 99, and myself in the 1, and we've worked together on the simulator this week, and our engineers, we've got about 200 employees that put forth the effort to try to make our race cars go faster than everybody else's. Now, all the teams have a lot of employees. We're not the biggest by any means, but we'll see. It'll be a lot about trying to put together that lap on Saturday that's got the right amount of distance, not going too far around, but also wide enough to hold it to the floor.
Ross Chastain has been our guest driver of the #1 Camaro in the NASCAR Cup Series for Trackhouse Racing. And again, come out and see Ross. You've got a couple of opportunities today. You can go to the Shawnee Hy-Vee off of 63rd Street from 3:30 until 5:30, and Hollywood Casino for a meet and greet and a little bit of chalk talk tonight from 8 until 9:30. And Ross, one more time, for a lot of people out there that have been wondering, should I go out to Kansas Speedway? Should I check things out? Should I go and take my family out there? I will remind people, like you said, it's something you have to experience in person. And also, hey, they offer a family 4-pack, $198, includes 2 adult tickets, 2 kids tickets, 1 racing electronic scanner with double headsets, so you can really enjoy what's going on. But tell people why they should come out and watch you a week from Sunday at Kansas Speedway.
You just can't appreciate it on TV and radio, and I watch and listen just like everybody else when I was a fan. But I just the first time I was at a NASCAR race as a kid is something I've never forgotten. Now, I didn't even know that I was going to race myself, period. The first time I went, I fell in love with the sport and started hobby racing and have made it into a career. But the feel, the sound, the smell, and the sight of it, the speed we have is something that I just hope that people will get to experience one time in their life. And usually once they do it once, it's not their last time.
Yeah, you never go once. You end up going a bunch of times because you have so much fun the first time you go. And you mentioned that when like, how old were you when you knew, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm that good, or I love it this much. This is going to be my life. When did you know?
I started when I was 12. My dad let me drive a race truck at our farm around the watermelon packing shed we have, and then I finally got going fast enough on the shell dirt road that he said, okay, stop, let's go to the racetrack. And then hobby raced from the time I was 12 years old, that was 2005, until I was 18. And in 2011, we decided to just do one NASCAR truck race as a bucket list. Say we did it. Say we made it to NASCAR and thought that would be it. And somehow that one race has turned into over 500 now, and a ride in the Cup Series with Trackhouse Racing, a relatively new team to the sport and growing team at three cars now. And we've got 5 wins, and it's just wild to think about. I can remember so vividly those early days and just liking to drive. I had played soccer as a kid. Really, my position, I played bench most of the time. So with racing, I got to sit down still, and yet I was the one driving. And, it never really felt like work, and have just kept chasing that dream ever since.
Ross Chastain has been our guest. Again, see him today at the Shawnee Hy-Vee from 3:30 until 5:30, or tonight at Hollywood Casino from 8 until 9:30. Hy-Vee and Hollywood Casino, 2 great partners of New Day with SSJ and Sports Radio 810 WHP. Ross, enjoy our town all day long. You've enjoyed in the past because you've won a couple of races out here, and we know who we're going to be rooting for at Kansas Speedway. And so good luck to you. Have a safe trip to Kansas City, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Ross. That's Ross Chastain. And again, if you want to meet Ross, who won out at Kansas Speedway back in September and has a chance to do it again coming up this weekend at Kansas Speedway, you can go to the Shawnee Hy-Vee, 13550 West 63rd Street in Shawnee from 3:30 until 5:30, or Hollywood Casino from 8 until 9:30 p.m. tonight. Or you know what? Go to both, as Jake says. And also, I'm not telling you your business, Shawnee Hy-Vee, but have a special on watermelons while Ross Chastain's there. You know? I mean, support his family and his other line of work. They already, you know what? They probably already have. Hy-Vee's always several steps ahead of me. In Hollywood Casino, love going to Hollywood Casino. Jake loves going there. Depending on how things go, I'm not sure what his mood is when he leaves, but he's always very excited and fresh-faced when he shows up at Hollywood Casino, high-fiving and ready to attack the evening. And so you do that. Go to Shawnee Hy-Vee, 3:30 to 5:30, or Hollywood Casino from 8 until 9:30, and say hello to Ross Chastain as he gets ready to compete again at Kansas Speedway next weekend. And you can go out, as he said, and enjoy a great time with your family. I went out there last year. I've gone out there the last couple of years, and my girls have had a blast. My family's had so much fun. And you can get tickets to the race on Friday, the Arkham Menard Series, Tide 150. Tickets start at $11, and kids 12 and under are free. On Saturday, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at 6:30. Tickets start at $33. Kids 12 and under free. And then the NASCAR Cup Series, Abbott Health 400, and cheer on Ross Chastain. And those tickets start at $55. Kids 12 and under start at only $10. That's going to be 2 o'clock on Sunday, May 11th. And you can officially root for Ross Chastain because you heard him on New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHP. Welcome back to the show. You see the White Stripes were voted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I didn't.
What do you think of that?
Actually, now you say it, I think did you tweet something about that? I think it's phenomenal. Curious to who will be introducing them. They deserve it. Meg White, Jack White.
The hell yes. They deserve it.
Think they'll ever tour together again?
You know, I would say no.
Yeah.
Because I thought that time would have already happened by now.
Right.
But I've learned to never say no when it comes to
Sure.
musical acts about never touring again because, like, I never thought that I would see Guns N' Roses with Axl and Slash
Right.
because for a long time, like, that's never going to happen. And then it happened, and now it's happened multiple times. I never thought I'd get a chance to go sit down and watch the Eagles really in any form, and then I did, and it was awesome. And so there have been a few of those reunions or a few acts that have gotten back together. Like, I didn't think this was ever going to happen, but then I think they find out, number one, oh my God, how much money could we make? And then number two, oh my God, how much money could we make? And then they go back on tour.
Right.
And I had this, it's funny you ask this about the White Stripes because thankfully I did see the White Stripes at Starlight when they were together, and that was awesome. But Selena, who, as you know, is still an extremely loyal and faithful fan of Niall Horan and everyone in One Direction, especially Harry Styles.
Right.
She asks me, she says, they're never going to reunite. And then when one of the members passed away tragically this year, she said, well, now I'll never get a chance to see them all again. I go, well, okay, first of all, you did see him at Arrowhead Stadium, so you saw him. So you've got that going for you. You could sit here and say that you never saw him. But I said, but at some point, I bet you they reunite. Now, it might be kind of like a situation when you see mom get all fired up when I've taken her to go see New Kids on the Block or something like that from our youth. Or like you see your old dad get all crazy because he's going to go see Guns N' Roses, after they get back together or whatever. This might not happen for you until, 10 years or 20 years, and then you get to go see a more aged Harry Styles in One Direction. You really think they might? I said, yes. And so I don't have a problem declaring that to her because I've got like 20 to 30 years for that proclamation to come true. And if it never does, I will be long gone by the time it's you know what I mean? It's like she won't be able to get mad at me. She might go to my grave. You told me they'd get back together someday. And now I'm 70, Dad. Boy, that was morbid. But the point is, I don't think so, but how do I know? I think Jack White's a little different, you know what I mean? And man, I hope so, though. But you know what, though? Is it necessary? Because he plays White Stripes music anyway.
Probably not. And I would say it's probably more on her.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Right.
Maybe that's something like, he's so different.
Yeah.
As far as, it seems like he wouldn't be in love with playing the same stuff over and over again, considering every set list is different when he comes out on tour. And sometimes, as we found out, he plays a lot of White Stripes songs. Sometimes, if the crowd isn't acting right, he doesn't play any. And so he might, I think he probably is scratching that musical itch because he tours so much and plays so much
and he has
plays
so many
in different
projects,
bands
right.
and plays in so many projects and does all these things. He hasn't just been sitting at home for the last 20 years, and maybe he just doesn't want to revisit that and he just likes the way he goes about it. So I would normally say, well, sure, anything can happen, but I don't think so with them.
Probably not. But hey, you never.
But
know.
you know what would be
Never know.
great? What if they go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
Play together.
and play together?
Yeah.
Like, how excited would you be if they ripped off like 3 or 4 songs?
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Should we try to go?
When is it?
I mean,
summer?
that's isn't that well within our grasp?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Men of our age.
Direct flight to Cleveland.
How long does it take to drive to Cleveland?
Oh,
I'm just asking. I don't know.
I bet 12 to 14.
You know, I'll drive anywhere.
I drove Chicago to Cleveland one time.
I bet you did.
Mm-hmm. Don't remember much about it.
No, I bet you don't. Okay? I bet you don't.
My junior year in college, maybe?
Did you have a ball and a biscuit by any chance?
Couple of them.
Wow.
Couple of them.
Odd. I think we should take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Buster Olney. We'll reunite with Buster Olney. Back on tour with Buster on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
New Day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated. HLAC certified to the highest medical laundry standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
But with Noah, I mean, the good thing in that sense is that he doesn't have to be rushed, right? Like, he's not pitching in the major leagues, out of necessity. He's pitching when he's ready, and he is certainly ready, and he's probably ready before tonight. But you have to have opportunity, But the good thing is he wasn't forced to pitch in the major leagues before he was ready to do it. And I will say, he is one of the most asked about players in our system in terms of, even going through the trade deadline last year when we were trying to acquire players, and even into this offseason, everybody, asks about him, which just gives you an indication of what the industry thinks about him. We have our own bias because he's our player, but, when it's validated by, every team you talk to says, hey, look, if you're looking for a player, we'd have interest in Noah Cameron. So exciting times for him.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk to Buster Olney about Noah Cameron, and the Royals only needed one damn run because Noah Cameron didn't give up Noah runs to the Rays. Shall I stay or leave? Shut up. Get it? Noah, he gave up Noah runs. And the Royals only needed one damn run for Cameron because he didn't give any up. It was a shutout. See? Buster gets it. I can hear Buster laughing hysterically. But the point is,
I'm laughing.
Well,
I don't know if I'm laughing with you or at you. I haven't determined that.
Hey,
but
it's all the
my
same,
first
Buster.
question was, did you that came off the top of your head, right?